Welcome to the video directions for our place value intervention booklet. I'm going to slide that out of the way and we're going to take a look at what our weekly intervention booklets look like. So whether you are familiar or not with all of my interventions, for the majority of them, the left-hand page is exactly the same. Every day this is going to look very similar, whereas the right-hand side of the page changes just a little bit to include more hands-on activities that your students will enjoy. So you might need some other materials like crayons or dice or these place value blocks. So here's what we do. We're going to start on the left-hand side of the page. And again, this stays the same every day. So I'll explain this once and you're going to repeat this day in and day out. So what we do is we use a pointer. Sometimes we have drumsticks, witch's fingers, our little looky eyes that go over our fingers. Maybe it's just a pencil or a marker, but we use different things to point and say the numbers together. So we begin counting and we do it as a group. Nobody is called out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. And when we get to a number that we're missing, we write it in. So we're missing the number 10. We keep counting, we're missing the number 16. Continue counting, missing the number 23. Now, early on in the school year, you might have students who really are relying a lot on copying from your paper, or they might need a 100 chart to copy from. So you play it by ear as far as what your students need, and some might need different things. But as the year progresses, a lot of times then students are able to do this much easier because they're beginning to see patterns. Well, oh, these all have 6s. So I bet this number is going to have a 6. This whole row has 3. I bet this is going to be 36. And so they can kind of come to their own conclusions, but that takes time. Every day you'll also have a number of the day where you're going to work to show it as just place value, 110, 5 ones, expanded form, and with base 10 blocks, which I am a little bit of a cheater and like to use lines and X's. You could actually draw them as base 10 blocks if you want, but that's often hard because this is usually a skill that we're working at with a lot of first graders and sometimes second graders who have struggled. So I like to do just a line and X's. Now for the right hand side of the page, with this, you're going to need crayons, red, yellow, green, and blue. And students will be looking for which numbers have a 4 in the tens place. And so if you see that, you would color it red. A 4 in the tens place, they would color it red. If they have yellow, or if they have a 2 in the ones place, you would color it yellow. A 2 in the ones place. Here we also have a 2 in the tens place. So we might also have some numbers that would have a 2 in the tens place. Sometimes all of the gumballs are colored. Sometimes half of the gumballs are colored. It really varies because I don't want students to get used to, oh, we have to color them all, or, oh, we never color them all. It really varies from week to week. Then we'll compare. A lot of times I break out my base 10 blocks and we actually build 20 and build 10 and compare that. Sometimes we just work on underlining these first numbers and see if those first numbers help us know which is bigger or which is smaller, and sometimes we'll have some that are equal. Next, we're going to work on skip counting. And so with this, we're going to choose a crayon of their favorite color, whatever they want, or you could use scented markers, whatever your preference is, and we're going to count by 5s, and we're going to color what we say because we're looking for patterns. So we would be saying 5, 10, 15, 20, you seeing any patterns? And we would talk about that. 25, 30, oh my gosh, they're all in these 2 columns. And so we might have things of that nature. So that is a quick and easy one, but something that my students really enjoy. Now for write a number that, you're going to use our little printouts here that also come with the intervention. What I like to do is I make one page, one copy that will look like this for every student and one for myself. I like to color code, like mine might be yellow or somebody else might have blue, somebody else might have pink, so that you know if it's a set. And if these get dropped on the floor, you know where things belong. So with that, I have my own set. And so I might say, write a number that has a 7 in the tens place. And so then students could have an array of answers. Some might have 73, some might have 79. It doesn't matter as long as their number has a 7 in the tens place. Then I might say, write a number that has a 2 in the ones place. And so I'm just kind of going through and coming up with numbers, and this is purely random. If you wanted to make it a little more organized, maybe ahead of time you come up with numbers. Oh, we've really been struggling with knowing if there's a 2 in the ones place. So I'm going to do that a couple of times. You might get strategic about that, but for me, it's pretty random, honestly. Then we play place value bingo. And with place value bingo, I give students a range of numbers and ask them to write in various numbers. So they might say, you know, here's 10, 11, 12, 13, and they're going to go all the way to 40. Now, with my cards over here, I know I am going to need a 1, 2, 3, 4. Any of those could be in my ones place. And so then all of these are fair game, and we're going to make some numbers that then we will cross off. So you either ahead of time, or I'll be honest, a lot of time for me, on the fly, I pull out what numbers are going to be in the tens place and then add our ones. And so then what we would do, I'm going to actually get rid of the 4 because we only need 1, 2, and 3. So then we would say, okay, the number is 32. And a lot of times I would lay this out on the table, lay it under my document camera, wherever you need it, so that kids can start seeing, okay, we have 10, 20, 30. Okay, our number is 32. If they had written that somewhere, they would X that out. And then we would build a new number. Okay, let's see, we have 29. If you had 29, X that out. And so we just work to play bingo using very specific numbers. And with this, I'll add, you could give them a free space or not give them a free space. You could have them do 4 corners. You could have them do a cross, diagonal, make it a T, whatever you want to do to make bingo fun. My kids would play bingo every day if I would let them. Okay, with this, you're going to roll 2 dice, and then whatever number you create, you're going to color. So a couple of potential things. I have here at home where I'm making my video, I have just 6-sided dice, which means I am only going to create numbers that are kind of in this range, not including 70. But at school, I also have 10-sided dice. And so a lot of times then that has 0 through 9, and we can create bigger numbers. So if I were at school right now making this video, I would show you 10-sided die, which you can buy on Amazon for, I think, like $5 or $6. They were not expensive. And so then we would roll 2 different dice. I like to give them 2 different colors. I have red and black. And we would roll and we would see, oh, we got the number 25. Well, color that in with your favorite color. We roll again. Oh, the number 57. Color that one in. With this, you can keep this going for as long, as short as you like. If you don't have much time, maybe they roll 5 numbers. Maybe you have a lot of time, and so you set a timer for 8 minutes or 6 minutes or whatever time you have to fill. This can kind of be as long or as short as you want. With before and after, a lot of times I use a hundreds chart, and we would circle or put a box around the number 20, and we would see what comes before, what comes after. 45, what comes before, what comes after. And so we're just filling in what numbers are before and what numbers are after. With the next section here, I like to use spinners, which again, I do have one here at home. And so with this, I give everybody a clear spinner. And we spin and we see, okay, the number 24. So it's going to be on here 2 or 3 times. So I see 2 10s, 4 1s. That is 24, so I could color that in. Maybe I spin it again and ooh, I see 20 plus 4. That's also 24. Some of them you'll also see base 10 blocks, so 24 is also here. So we're going to be spinning and coloring whatever number we happen to get. Now, the problem is sometimes, and it never fails, we keep landing on 24, keep landing on 24, and we've already done 3 of them. So that's kind of like we say, oh, I missed a turn. So you spin and wait until you can get your entire board. Maybe you want to treat it like bingo and we're just trying to get 4 in a row. I usually try to get them to get all of them colored in, which is a task. Like seriously, that is a task because we'll keep rolling or spinning the exact same one. Again, maybe that depends on how much time you have on that particular day. All right, up here, very similar to using our dice, only now we're going to use our base 10 blocks. And so we can get all of our base 10 blocks back. And we're going to see, okay, here's the number 42. And so I would color in 42 with my favorite color. And then here we have, let's see, 79. And so we'd color in 79. And these, again, I would have a set for each student in the group. You could do it as a whole group, but I find more value with making them count 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Here's 65. And let them kind of work on memorizing what some of these numbers, like that is 9. We should know it as soon as we see it, but not always if we're not actively practicing that. Here, working on number bonds, we would have to see, okay, well, if this part is 5, then this would be 10. If this is 20, then we have 2 in the ones, 30 and 4, 40 and 1. With writing numbers, this is sometimes something that is very, very hard for our students, and so we need to practice it. So I like to use this cheat sheet, and this is something that I give to my students. Actually, you could cut this out of a blank book if you wanted and make some copies so that if they're working on this in class, they have kind of a cheat sheet for how to spell the words. So for this, these, with the exception of the teen, because that's obviously hard, are in order: 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and 100. Then we have all of our number words, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So we can have a cheat sheet to use. So if I'm trying to say 19, I'm going to think, well, oh, here's 9. And teen. I know teen is kind of like there's a 1, and so I can use that in this 1, 2, 3, 4 kind of pattern. Here with 25, I can see 20. Okay, oh, here's 20. That's how I spell that. 20 and hyphen. I teach my students to use a hyphen, and ooh, I'm going to 21. 25. And this little cheat sheet, even when I taught 5th grade and we were working on writing numbers, we use this cheat sheet because for some kids, gen ed or special ed, this is tricky for them and spelling is hard for them. So give them a little cheat sheet to use. And here it's right on the paper. And on day 5, it's conveniently located on the back, we use a bingo dauber. And so we're just trying to see which number is greater, and we can daub which one is greater. And then we also use that to do kind of a similar activity to back here where we were coloring the numbers when we count by 5s. Very similar here. We're working on counting in this example 2, but that will change between 2s, 5s, and 10s. The same here. It'll rotate between 2s, 5s, and 10s. And so we're just going to daub every time. So we'd be saying 12, 14, 16, 18. Now, some people may not always love bingo daubers. You could use a marker, but I like to put it on the back. That way, if it makes a mess or whatever, you don't have to write on it the next day. Students can take it with them and throw it away. So, thank you so much for taking a look at this video. Please let me know if you have any questions or need a game or activity clarified.